What's going on YouTube? It's your boy Jeremy Wormy, and earlier in the week we actually discussed the latest goings on within Dragon Age, in which the creator actually came out and said that American regulations were the reason a lot of the changes were going on in the game itself. Now, what were some of those changes that people were complaining about? One of the big changes was the fact that the game was getting rid of the idea of male and female characters and going with a more gender neutral idea, mainly body type 1 and body type 2. On top of that, we were starting to see some other changes that honestly are sacrilegious in most anime fandoms, Japanese fandoms, and JRPG fandoms, that they were going around and altering Akira Toriyama's famous work on several of the characters. And here's just two different examples of different characters that they were coming out and admitting that they were going to have to censor for the upcoming release of the game. And because of this, people were furious with this game. People were very, very irate and angry about what was going on here. And we ended up having the creator, again, do a sit-down interview at one of the gaming expos that were going over in Japan at the time. I don't remember which one off the top of my head. But he did say that because of American regulation, because of American standards, we were forced to censor clothing, censor art, censor how people were depicting. And on top of that, we were forced to put in body type 1 and body type 2 and take out the ideas of male and females due to the regulations that were going on from America. And this story was going everywhere. It was going all over the place. It was getting bigger and bigger and bigger because this is a massive thing. This is a massive situation. People were blaming Square Enix for doing this. People were blaming Dragon Quest for doing this initially. But now if we are discovering that America is actually regulating this stuff and making this be a standard in order to get your game over here in the States, it starts changing how people perceive this stuff. It starts changing how people interact with this stuff and actually interact with this idea and be like, hey, this is something that we're exporting, and the American bureaucrats are imposing it on other people's content, even when they don't want to. And this story was actually starting to blow up even more ever since Elon Musk decided to quote tweet it and say that this is insane. Now we're getting some weirdness going on, but Dragon Age creator Yori Hoda interview questioning forced gender ideology in Dragon Quest III HD2D remake scrubbed from the internet. Now, nobody knows why this interview was scrubbed. Not one person knows why this interview has been taken down, removed from the internet, and like it's no more, it exists no more. This clip is nowhere to be seen. And I come back over here to this particular article where it did have the actual interview and it's gone, not found. The links don't work to it. It does not exist. I don't know what's happening here. Doesn't seem to exist. So it's just poofed out of existence. It was getting kind of weird and strange. And when we start coming down here, one of the things that might have led it to getting kind of pulled down also doesn't really justify it, because this interview ended up being translated, because obviously people need to understand it. And with an AI program, people were seeing what was actually being said. And that was being done by a source called Vault News. Vault News came out here and said that, hey, they accidentally mistranslated a word. And you see right here, Vault News wrote, I would like to sincerely apologize for the incorrect English subtitle created for Mr. Kazuki Tashimoa's statement. In the scene where he mentioned Puritan, it was mistakenly translated as sex education. This error was due to mishearing. I deeply apologize for any inconvenience caused to all parties involved. Okay, so you had one moment, and even when I was reporting on this, it was a weird little area where just randomly the dude says sex education, but I could kind of figure out what he was saying there and what was going on. You know, you get right here. There was a religious concept from the West, especially in America, that influences their approach to sex education, right? Well, if it's not sex education and Puritan, which approach to Puritan or Puritanism or something like that, that actually makes sense. And even when it came to the sex education, that makes sense. So, okay, if that's the big bad thing here, then why is it being ripped down and taken apart everywhere? Because this mistranslation is the only justification that I can see. Not only was Vault News' short clip of the video deleted, but the original upload of the interview to YouTube was privated. Furthermore, the apology from Vault News came in wake of Yobo Mashimoto's CoCo broadcasting station claiming that Vault News has mistranslated the video. On the afternoon of September 30th, Japan time, Mr. Musk said regarding the controversy and related reports regarding the reposting of an overseas news site that had reproduced a video with English subtitles mistranslated of a streaming program in which some of our members appeared, a message and request from the performance to everyone. And ex-user Gimishi shared an alleged translation of the image. It states, regarding the live broadcast, Denfami live distribution from Makuhari, game creators special with Yobo and Masilito's CoCo broadcasting station, which was held on Saturday, September 28, 2024. Some of the performers' statements were misrepresented on social networking sites. In addition, some of the performers' remarks were cut off and quoted as if were expressing negative opinions about a particular idea or creed, and spread far from the true meaning of the remarks and the original content and messages of the video. It continued. In addition, malicious videos and transcripts quoted above have been spread on YouTube channels and social networking sites accounts, and videos with incorrect English subtitles and articles using them have spread not only domestically but also abroad. And then specifically claims that the word sex education was mistranslated and should have been Puritan. And this is what it kind of seems like. Like, the only justification for taking this down was one word was mistranslated. And then you start seeing, oh, there was negative implications. There was negative things going on. Like, something was being said that shouldn't have been said, and we didn't mean to say that. What that might have been? Like, what is that? Like, and this continues going on, and I read this, and it's relatively the same thing over and over again. The idea that something negative was said or mistranslated one word. What was the negative thing that might have been said? Could it possibly have been the idea that America is imposing the forced idea of removing male and female, and maybe the creator of Dragon Quest specifically said a very interesting thing. We have to label them as type 1 and type 2, he added. I really wonder who's even complaining about this. Maybe, just maybe, they had to take it down because the creator of Dragon Quest actually stated the quiet part out loud, that Japan isn't down for any of this stuff, isn't really interested in any of this stuff. That maybe, just maybe, America's pushing this, and maybe they were getting some backlash for this particular little moment here because of this. Dragon Quest creator Yoji Hori maligned as Nazi and chud for questioning gender ideology being required for Dragon Quest III HD 2D remake. Since he came out and even questioned the idea of doing this, even questioned, like, who's even complaining about male and female? Who's even complaining about this stuff? Like, why do we have to do this? We're being forced to do this. Why do we have to do this? He gets called Nazi. He gets called a chud. And he gets lambasted online for simply pointing out that only a small handful of creatures on the internet actually care about this stuff. Like, a very small amount of people actually believe this stuff. But let's take this to a logical conclusion, okay? There's a lot of people that always come out and say, well, why is it a big deal? Why is it a big deal? Why is it a big deal? When people do communicate about this stuff or say, hey, they don't like doing this, they think this is wrong. When it comes to, let's take it to Dragon Age and the body scars that are going on characters for some odd reason, you get people coming out here go like, you don't have to choose it. Why is it a big deal? It's not that big of a deal. You don't have to do it. It's just for creating your own character. The people that make it the big deal are people like this. The people that come out here and call this man a Nazi and a chud for disagreeing with him, for saying, why do we even have to do this? Man, I thought this was the tolerant left. I thought this was like an area where we could have free debate and be able to express our ideas and say, hey, you know what? I disagree here or there on certain things. Oh no, we can't do that. We're gonna call you names and be hateful towards you because you disagree with us. But let's see part of this. Yori Horii, the creator of Dragon Quest, is being maligned as Nazi and Chud for questioning gender ideology being forced upon Dragon Quest III HD2D remake. During an interview, which is no longer available, and we continue to scroll down to see some of this. Yori Horii going Nazi was not on my bingo sheet. Oh, Yoki, what in the blue blazes are you on about? How does this make him a Hitler? Pretty much welcoming culture warrior tourists who tend to be Nazis! So, because he disagrees with you, because he thinks that this is an idiotic thing, that means he's a Nazi. Okay. By complaining that the game they made had to be censored. You can't chastise someone because grifters will latch onto a thing. Look at how much shite I call out on a daily basis that some grifter might too. It was censored because of CERO, and that's been consistent for over decades. The type A, type B stuff is not censorship. It literally is. It is the removal of male and female. It is the removal of a particular idea and being forced to implement that. This is a part of gender ideology. This is 100% gender ideology, and it is censorship. It is censoring the game. They are being forced to censor the game. Being forced to censor something or take stuff out is an example of Nazis. That's what they did. They went around censoring stuff. They went around taking stuff out, and if you disagree with them, you're a bad person. That's what they did. Oh, but because this dude disagrees with you and is calling out the actual BS, oh, he's the bad guy. He's the villain. He's the awful man. No, they were specifically talking about the designs they had to just censor now. Did you watch the video itself? You can turn on subtitles. It's the same design they've been using since 2012, only with yellow clothing instead of black. No, I haven't watched the video. I haven't had the time. Wait. So you're decrying him as a Nazi, you're saying all this stuff, and you didn't even watch the video? So you have no real point. But this whole thing was going around everywhere. People all over the place were saying stuff like this. People all over the place were doing this stuff. How is this not evidence of maybe why they took it down? Maybe because he had to say the quiet part out loud, and that America's forcing this on Japan. America is forcing a specific ideology and a specific way of life on these games. And when he calls it out, he gets called a Nazi. He gets lambasted everywhere. He's the bad guy. He's the villain. Oh, but these guys are the tolerant left. These guys are the good guys. These guys are the fine people. One user on the Game Circle Jerk subreddit described both Horii and Tashimoro as douchebags. He wrote, to be fair, I don't think creatives should have to do something they don't want to because of outside forces telling them to do so, and just slapping body type A/B labels on what was obviously designed as male and female choices is one of the most annoying performative things I've seen in games lately. I can agree. Anybody can agree with that. This whole statement right here is good. So stop there, but you don't. Nevertheless, he then added, that said, these two sound like douchebags, and I won't buy their game because of that. I just think they should have the right to make it the way they want. Also, it's ridiculous that gamers are acting like the opinions of two old men is representative of every creator in Japan and somehow proves the West is forcing their beliefs upon Japan. You can't even say that these two are respective of the whole team. Wait. So the creator of Dragon Quest says that they're being forced to do this. That America is forcing this on them. The Shonen Jump former lead says that yes, America does this all the time and forces us to do this, forces us to make these changes if we want to get it into America. We are forced to do this, and they're bad because they called it out. They pointed it out, but they're douchebags. What? Another user in the subreddit wrote, no surprise people associated with Toriyama would be this chuddy. Decrying Akira Toriyama. Decrying one of the greatest creators in all of anime and manga history, one of the greatest artists of all time who had his own personal style that you can always see, decrying him as Chuddy. Huh. Namaka described Hori as a dinosaur. He wrote, "Every time I see something new from the dinosaurs in charge of Dragon Quest, I get happy that I don't like Dragon Quest. Easily the worst of the remaining JRPG franchises to me." Then why do you care? Why do you care? If you don't like it, don't play it. Let them create it the way it is. But all of this stuff, okay, you see how these people reacted to this. You see how these people are responding to this, how they are attacking this man for being a certain way, for calling it out, for calling out the forced censorship that is being done upon their game. And then you start seeing, the thing getting taken down and them saying, well, there was a mistranslated quote here. There was a mistranslation. There was a mistranslation. There's tons of negativity about it. There was bad stuff that was going on. They took it down from what I'm seeing because they were getting backlash from these people, and he said the quiet part out loud. He said the truth. And I have more respect for him than anybody else. I wish they would keep it up. I wish they would keep it up because that interview exposed so much of what's been going on right now and so much of what we have been doing to these games and why who people should actually be angry with, who people should actually be frustrated with. Dragon Quest didn't do this because they wanted to. They did it because they were forced to. They were forced to implement this stuff. They were forced to put this in. And it's starting to look like even Square Enix didn't force them to do it. And it was all America that made them do it. That's sick. That's disgusting. And now this pathetic ideology is forcing itself upon people by a goddamn bureaucrat. It's awful to see this, and I wish more people will come out and call it out. We'll see where this goes, and we'll see what happens. But I'm going to leave it there. Let me get you guys' thoughts on all this down in the comments below. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up, share it up, friends, hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell for every time I put out a new video go live, guys. And I'll see you all on the next one. Bye for now.